Hello everyone, this is James D. Zon, your PinoyPhD. As you can see, today parang iba yung setup natin, and it is not usually in my room or in my studio kasi I just left lab. It's about 5:30 p.m. right now, Tuesday afternoon or evening, and I'm just making this video para lang to update my channel. Ano, hindi ako naka-upload in the last maybe 3 or 4 months, and life has just been very busy as a PhD student. So one of the main things that happened in April and May was really taking my qualifying exam as a PhD student. So that's probably yung only exam na kailangan mo i-take sa PhD mo. Of course, besides the courses, pero this is with the graduate school itself. So itong exam na to is to really test kung how much have you grown for the past year or 2 years, and this will decide kung mag-stay ka sa program or not. The setup of this exam is really bibigyan ka ng isang research question, and your goal is to, number 1, kailangan mong magsulat ng isang research proposal, and you have to submit that to a committee of professors. And then number 2, once na makuha na ng committee yung research proposal mo, the goal is for you to defend or argue your research proposal. So at a later date, maybe a month after you submit yung proposal, kailangan mong gumawa ng oral defense where your professors will basically look at the weaknesses and weak points of your research topic or your research proposal, and your job is to argue why you made the decisions that you made. So that process, depending on the program, can take between 3 or 4 months. For BME, the writing component, we only have 1 week. So from Monday, basically to Monday, we have 1 week na magsulat ng isang research proposal. May mga aims, hindi naman kailangan ng data, but aims and objectives na experiments that na kailangan ko i-propose in order to answer the question that they gave me. And then 3 or 4 weeks later, magsiset down ng date, which will be the date of my oral defense. So basically from maybe mid-April all the way up to end of May, that's what's occupying my time. Fortunately, thank God, salamat sa Diyos na I'm still here. That's why I'm still making this video, right? So yes, I passed. So we can't really celebrate for too long. So basically nung end of May, nung nakuha ko yung passing score ko or passing decision sa committee, we celebrated a little bit yung lab ko. Yung professor namin, he took us out to a pizza place. Kumain kami na lunch at a pizza restaurant. And then of course I celebrated my own. Parang lumabas ako isang weekend. I think we went to get boba or something. But again, in research, you can't celebrate for too long kasi kailangan mo ulit bumalik sa trabaho. And for me, as soon as I got back, basically that June, one of the main goals that we had was to apply for grants. When you're doing this research, it requires reagents, kailangan mo ng bayaran ng mga facilities, equipment, and these are all paid for by a grant. And the mga grants na to is mostly they're from the government. So kailangan mo mag-apply to the National Institute of Health for these, what they're called R01s. It's a multi-million dollar mga grants. So you receive maybe $1 or $2 million, or around 50 million pesos to fund a specific research. So after my quals, yung lab namin nag-jump directly kami to get some more funding. Kasi of course yung last naming funding ay naubos na. Yung pakabalik ko ng June na yun, nag-apply kami parang 2 grant. Yung isa yung R01, may isa pa kami in-apply na grant na more internal. So this was dun sa kidney cancer program dito sa school ko. Dahil yung project ko is about kidney cancer. So that one was around $30,000. Fortunately, we already got feedback from that and results. We actually received both grants. So yung isa is for liver cancer and this one is for kidney cancer. Sorry, I had to reposition the camera. Mahulog na kasi. Fortunately, nakuha namin yung both grants na yun. So that, sometimes that pays for even yung stipend ko, yung salary ko, right? So that was good news. So that was mainly June. I spent most of June, basically just writing. So nasa harapan na naman ako ng computer, sulat lang ako, nagbabasa ng mga articles. So yeah, it was pretty, I would say, boring almost. And I hate writing, you know. English is really not my first language, so mahirap talagang magsulat in English sometimes, even though I've been here for such a long time. But yeah, you know, in quals, you know, that time was really stressful. It was difficult. Most of the time I just spent nasa loob lang ako ng room ko, and you know, yung professor ko understanding naman eh. So he wasn't expecting me to come to the lab and do experiments, and that was really good. Pero it's still a stressful time, right? Kung hindi ka makapasa, hindi ka naman makikita sa program, but you have to retake it again in about 6 months. And I don't want to go through that anymore. So thank God talaga nakapasa ako. So now that I've given you April, May, and June, what did I do in July? Well, umuwi ako sa Pilipinas, and I was there for about 4 weeks, and it was a really good time. Umuwi ako sa Bicol. I was there for about maybe 2-3 weeks, and then pumunta kami ng Boracay, and I will make a separate video about the Philippines. I think it's worth another video. I think I really enjoyed my time there, seeing family, cousins, yung lola ko. But now, when I got back from vacation in August, again we're back to writing because we're applying to one more grant, which this is for the Department of Defense grant, again on kidney cancer. So this one is worth about $400,000. So hopefully we get this one as well. Ang deadline ito is about October, so I've been doing a lot of experiments as well dahil kailangan namin ng preliminary data. So and these experiments have been in animals, so sa rats. And yeah, with animal work talagang mahirap kasi you can do all your experiments mainly in a lab, you know, with you know, parang hindi naman mga animals, right? Yung mga cell systems or yung mga chemicals and stuff like that. Pero with animals, it's a little bit more complicated kasi of course there are ethics to follow. And then these are living animals before, so you have to take care of them. There's a lot more logistical things to consider. And gusto ko lang ipakita sa inyo kung nasan talaga ako. This is really a courtyard sa campus namin, in the middle of buildings. So that's the buildings right there. Tapos ito yung parang garden nila. And you can have lunch here, have coffee, whatever you want. Okay, so this is a few days later. Naging busy na naman kasi ako. You know, I was writing, doing some experiments sa lab. But yeah, I'm just finishing this video up. The point of this video was to really just to give an update of what my life has been. And I just want to preface that the amounts in the grants do not go directly to me or my professor. So basically, yung perang yan, pupunta yan directly sa school that will be allocated to our lab. So yung salary namin usually is capped at a certain amount. So yung salary ko is $35,000. It's still gonna be $35,000. Even kung makuha namin lahat ng grants na in-apply. Kasi regulated yan by the graduate school. Hindi sa akin yung dediretso yung perang yan. But to the lab to fund the research, the resources, and of course some of the salary ng mga supporting staff namin gaya ng mga technicians and research associates. Well, that's the only update I have so far. So in the next video, I really want to do a short video of my trip in the Philippines. So look out for it. With that being said, this is James, your PinoyPhD, and I'm out. Peace.